You know, for decades, if you thought about strong, lightweight protection, one word popped into your head: Kevlar. It's been the undisputed champion, right? The gold standard for everything from body armor to parts on a spaceship. It's tough, it's light, everybody trusts it. But what if the next big thing isn't a new chemical at all, but just a new shape?
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you actually improve on something that's already considered a super material? Well, let's dive in and see.
Well, some researchers think they found a way. And what's wild is they didn't change the chemical formula for Kevlar one bit. Instead, all these incredible new abilities come from simply changing its physical structure. So, it's time to meet the challenger.
Yep, you heard that right. The secret here isn't in the chemistry, it's in the shape. The answer is all about pure geometry.
Okay, so take a look at this. Here are the two contenders, side by side. On the left, you've got the champ, standard Kevlar, with that classic, tight, grid-like weave we all recognize. And on the right, that's our challenger, Auxetic Kevlar. It looks totally different, doesn't it? It has this open, almost knitted structure. The difference is really night and day.
So you're probably asking, what in the world does auxetic mean? It's a great question. Think about stretching a normal rubber band. It gets thinner in the middle as you pull it, right? Well, auxetic materials are weird. They do the complete opposite. When you stretch them or when they get hit, they actually get thicker and denser right at that point. It's totally counterintuitive, but it means they focus all their strength exactly where it's needed most.
Pretty cool, huh?
All right, let's get ready to rumble. It's time to put these two materials head to head. First up, round one, the fracture test. This is just a battle of pure toughness. Which one is harder to literally rip apart?
And this is how they do it. Scientists basically start a tiny little crack in the material, and then a machine just pulls it apart. They measure exactly how much force it takes to make that crack grow. It's a really simple, direct test of tear resistance.
So we've got the reigning champion against this brand new challenger with its strange geometry. In a straight-up test of raw toughness, who do you think came out on top?
Let me tell you, it wasn't even close. It was a total knockout. The new Auxetic challenger turned out to be a mind-blowing 225% more resistant to fracture than the standard woven champion. I mean, that's not just a little bit better. That's a completely different league, a total game changer.
And the data here tells the whole story. See that bar on the left, K0? That's our champion, standard Kevlar. And that towering bar right next to it, AK0? That's the Auxetic challenger. You don't need to be a scientist to see that enormous gap. Round one is a decisive no-contest victory for the challenger.
But look, being hard to tear is only one part of the job. What happens when you shoot something at it? Welcome to round two, the impact test. This is the scenario we all really think about for material like Kevlar.
And the researchers set up a pretty serious test. They fired a projectile that weighs about the same as a .45 caliber bullet at over 370 miles per hour. This is a real test of stopping power.
So, let's check out the results. And here's the plot twist. Look at the bar on the left. That's standard woven Kevlar, and it's actually higher. The champion fights back. It turns out it absorbed more of the projectile's raw energy than the exotic version did.
So is that a win for the champion then? Well, not so fast. Because when you're talking about protection from an impact, just how much energy you absorb is only half the story.
The really crucial piece of the puzzle is how that energy got absorbed. Just take a look at this chart showing the damage area. Standard Kevlar on the left had damage that spread over a massive area, almost 100 square centimeters. But the Auxetic Kevlar, look at that tiny little bar on the right, less than 5 square centimeters of damage. So yeah, the champ soaked up more energy, but it did it by letting the damage spread out. The challenger contained the threat almost perfectly.
So what's the final verdict here? Well, there's no single winner, and that's what's so interesting. What this research shows is this really important trade-off between two different kinds of protection: absorbing a ton of energy versus containing all the damage.
This chart shows that trade-off perfectly. See the triangles down in the bottom left? That's the auxetic stuff. Very low damage. Now look up at the top right. That blue square is the standard woven Kevlar. High energy absorption, but also a really high damage area. It's clear as day. If you want more energy absorption, it usually comes at the cost of more widespread damage.
Okay, so let's just boil this all down. What are the key takeaways? Number one, Auxetic Kevlar is way better at resisting tears, not even a competition. 2, regular woven Kevlar is still the king when you just want to soak up the absolute most raw energy from an impact.
And 3, Auxetic Kevlar is incredible at locking down impact damage into a teeny tiny area. So the best material, well, it completely depends on what specific kind of threat you need to stop.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. For the armor of the future, what kind of strength is more important? The ability to soak up a massive amount of energy across a wide area, or the surgical precision to stop and contain a high-speed impact in one tiny spot? This research shows the answer might not come from making stronger molecules, but from designing much smarter shapes.